this is Shannon from the Macedon Public Library. I'm here with an arts and crafts today. Today we are going to be doing a little sponge painting class, and this is our painting we're going to be making, the little chicks. And yesterday in story time we read the book Hurry Hurry, and it features a little chick, so that's what inspired this little sponge painting. So if you missed our story time, you can go on our website and you can watch our story time yesterday. So the materials you're going to be needing is just a piece of paper and then some paint. Any paint will work just fine. And then if you do need to make your own sponge brush, if you don't have one at home, you can make one just with some materials at your house. So if you have a kitchen sponge, you can use a sponge and then just a clothespin. And so you just cut out the shape that you'd like with your kitchen sponge, and then this is your little sponge brush. That's actually what I used for my painting, was my little homemade sponge brush. And you can also use a paintbrush if you'd like, and then just some scissors if you do need to make your sponge. So I'll go ahead and show you how to make our sponge brush. So this is the kitchen sponge I used. So you can see there's a little bit missing. All right, so I actually just cut off the edge of my sponge, and that kind of was my template for the beak. So I just went and I cut off just a little bit. And that was my little beak sponge. And then we're just gonna go ahead and cut out a circle. So however big you want your sponge brush to be will determine how big you'd like your circle to be. And I would recommend to wet your sponge first, because it's very hard to cut when it's dry. So it just kind of makes it a little bit easier. Okay. This is my little circle. And that's going to be my sponge, and you're just going to take your clothespin and just kind of scrunch it around onto your sponge. Mine's actually a little bit big for my sponge. Here we are. I think I need to make mine just a little bit smaller for my size clothespin. There we go. Let's try that again. There we go. And there is our little sponge. All right, so once you have your sponge brush, we can go ahead and get to painting. I'm going to point my camera down, and I realize my painting is going to be a little bit upside down for you guys, but we'll try our best, and I'll show you as we go along. I'm going to make my little chick yellow. I'm going to put some yellow paint on my page. Pull this down a little bit so you can see. And then we're going to need some orange for our beak. I'm going to be mixing my colors to make some orange. So if you don't have any orange paint, if you use a larger part of yellow and just a little bit of red, you can actually make your own orange. And then I'm going to need a little bit of black for the eyes. And then if you'd like to decorate your page, you can put some green on for some grass and some blue for the sky. So you can decorate your painting however you'd like. So those are all the colors that I'm going to be needing. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna grab my brush and I'm going to dip it in my yellow paint. You want your whole sponge to get covered, and then we're just going to dab it on. I'm going to make two little chicks on here. You can make your chicks different shapes like I'm going to do. I'm going to make one just an oval shape. All right, here's my two little chicks that I made. You can see the one on the right, I made a head and a body, and then on the right, or on the left here, I just have the front of my little chick. So he's a little bit different shape, he's just an oval. All right, so I'm going to unclip my circle and I'm going to put my little triangle on for the next portion. So now I have my little triangle sponge brush and I'm going to grab my orange paint and we are going to put the beak on. You can use either your sponge brush or if you'd like to use a paintbrush, you can do either or. I'll show you both to see what it looks like. So the one on the left, we're going to do, here we are. And this one over here, I'm going to use my paintbrush. All right, I have my little beaks put on. Now we're going to need some feet on our little chicks. So here's our little chick so far. So the one on my right, I used the sponge brush, and the one on the left, I used the paintbrush. All right, and for my feet, if you're going to use the sponge brush, if you want to use the point, it'll be easier. Here's our little feet. And I'm going to use my paintbrush for my other one. There we are. You can see the one with the paintbrush is just a little bit of a finer line. And then what's the last thing our little chick needs? He needs some eyes. I'm going to grab a little bit of black and I'm just going to put a little eye on there. All right, now our little chicks are all painted. All right, and now we can decorate the rest of our page. So if you'd like to rinse your circle, and then we can use the circle sponge brush to complete our painting. So I have a clean one here, so I'm going to grab some blue, and I'm going to sponge on some blue for the sky. So sponging on might be a little bit easier for little ones to control than a paintbrush. This might be a good option for some little ones. And if you have some older little kids, the paintbrush might be a good way to integrate in some finer movement. All right, there's my sky. And then I'm also going to switch to a clean triangle sponge brush. This will stay on here for me. There we are. Then I'm going to dab this in some green for some grass. All right, there's our grass and our sky. There we are, and I'll point my screen up a little bit so you can see it a little better. But this is our final painting. There's our little sponge paint chicks. And a nice and easy way that you can make some homemade sponge brushes for some future activities as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you again soon. You guys have any questions?
Yeah, question. What type of paper did you use?
I just used some printer paper. If you want to use a little bit thicker paper, once it dries, I found that it was fine, but when you're painting, it does get a little floppy with the printer paper, but once it dried, it was okay.
You could use construction paper too?
Oh yeah, if you want to use construction paper or cardstock if you want something a little bit thicker, but any paper should work just fine.
Okay, good. I got both.
Yeah, awesome.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
Yep,
Well,
very
thanks for
cute.
joining me,
Thank
guys.
you. Bye.
See you later. Bye.